NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Players. Welcome once again to TPC Sawgrass for the Players. This is Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action. And Frank, the 17th hole is always the place to be during this great championship.
It certainly is, Rich. The energy, as we know, each and every year has just been electric at 17, and I don't expect it to be any different today.
We're off and running here, and let's take you down to the action at hole number 1. Getting ready to start the round. Frank, what is the importance of getting off to a good start?
It's imperative, Rich, really. Try and find your rhythm, conditions of the golf course. Really get into the round as quick as you can.
That's in the fairway. Frank, the approach shot here at the par 4 first. What's the right way to attack?
The much easier flag is down that right side because you can run that ball with the slope to that low side. Tough flag on the left.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. A bit unfortunate in the bunker, Frank.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what his bunker play's like.
In the green side bunker, Frank, little bit of a problem. Love it with a nice splash out of the bunker. It lands softly and just runs out right next to the hole. Beautiful shot. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Now to the second. Frank, what do you make of this hole?
Well, over the years, we've seen more and more people hitting 3-wood off this tee. 3-wood's normally easier to draw, and it doesn't run out down that right side.
beautiful looking shot right here. And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole.
Second shot.
Offline, and I think that one's headed for the rough. You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish, but, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Getting set now over the putt. A birdie will send him to 1 under on the leaderboard. Now the par 3 third.
Not overly long, but 2 is a rarity here. Difficult green, and you don't see a lot of tee shots actually finish close here for some unknown reason. Well, that's the best that was going to be on the fringe.
Not too bad. Pretty good shot right there. A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. -1 in the early going. For those of you just tuning in, we're checking in now on our featured golfer here at the 4th. Early in the round, still holding steady, even par on the day.
Yeah, it's got that feel it could go either way here. Next few holes will probably tell us which way.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Good looking shot right here. So 24 feet after that approach shot, Frank.
It's just outside the what you'd think very makeable distance.
Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Steady, solid, and at 1 under par right now. 5th hole here at TPC Sawgrass. Long par 4. What's the challenge, Frank?
Depending, really, if you're a long or short hitter. The long hitters have the luxury of taking it over the corner of the bunker down the right. Shorter hitters really play at that bunker down the left, 320 run out.
This is the second shot at the par 4. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Frank, how much does that birdie help the cause?
Well, it doesn't look like much right now, Rich, just sneaking inside the top 20. But at the end of the day, that might be the one that turned the tide.
Frank, this isn't a hole that sort of jumps out at you the way, say, 17 does.
Yeah, a lot of times people will just sort of gloss over it, but anytime you get a par 4 under 400 yards, it's a great opportunity. But once again, a positional hole. Take advantage of it.
Frank, approach shot here at 6. Good chance to make birdie?
There is. You can almost cut this green into thirds. There's that front third, the left third, and of course, the back third.
This is a good-looking shot. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Setting himself up for a good weekend, the wily golf instructor makes his birdie. Frank's 7th hole here at TPC Sawgrass. How do you break this one down?
Not overly long, 440 yards, but once again, it's a tee shot. If you're driving the ball well, that's fine. You just sort of blister it down there, but you're starting to lose one a little bit to the right. There's 3 pot bunkers there, and of course, if you're fearful of it going left, there's the canal all the way down the left side that'll get your attention.
Well, we've seen this before today, in the bunker. Digs in, ready for the bunker shot.
Yeah, second shot here. Just try and aim a little bit behind that ball, an inch or two.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot. It's amazing. Doesn't matter how close it goes. It's an extra shot. That one will definitely hurt.
So a tester from 4 feet. Keeps the momentum going with that putt. Stays at 3 under. TPC Sawgrass, the fabled stadium course designed by the legendary Pete Dye. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Here at the 8th, Frank, most players are happy walking out of here with a par 3.
And the reason why, it's a very narrow entry to this green. It's just littered with bunkers around, left, behind, to the side, and even short. Once you get further up the green, though, even though this is sort of an undulating green, it starts to widen up. So don't get trapped into just looking at the front of this hole.
On the green in regulation. Settles in over the putt. How does that not go in?
Amazing. Stroke looked good. Line looked good. Just did not take that final break.
Trying to move on with a par in his pocket. They'll take it. That's a par. Frank, I think this is one of the most fascinating holes on the golf course. The 583-yard par 5 ninth hole.
With technology now, a lot more players can reach this par 5 and 2. Gone are the days where it was a true three-shotter, but I remember when Sergio Garcia hit that 3-wood from, what was it, 270, 280 yards? Still one of the best shots I've ever seen.
Always makes the hole easier, playing it from the fairway. Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. Frank, when you think layup shot on a par 5, you think it's easy. This isn't necessarily that simple, is it?
No, you've got to keep the ball to the right. Otherwise, those overhanging limbs on those trees on the left, they become havoc.
On the green, sure, but plenty of real estate between the ball and the hole. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Could it be? It's a nice birdie right there.
Could not have come at a better time. Third place now.
Setting up to start the back 9 here, and if it's anywhere near as good as the front 9, Frank, he'll be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the score.
Second shot now at the 10th, and again, Frank, accuracy is at a premium.
Yeah, gone are the days to sort of thrash it out of the trees like Phil Mickelson. Ideally, coming out of that fairway, you're hitting to a green that moves to the right, so that makes it a little bit more difficult than what the mind's eye first sees.
Frank, this one's offline.
There's rough and thick stuff over there.
You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish, but, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
That was a nice birdie, and no doubt he's feeling pretty good about his position on this leaderboard.
A series of good holes in a row has got him to this point.
Let's go to the 11th now. It's a par 5 and a fun hole, Frank. You can make anything from 3 to 7 here.
And that's why, as the start of the back 9, especially on a Sunday, this becomes such a pivotal hole to start a run. big body of sand down the left side that sometimes the longer hitters can get close to with the tee shot, but really it's the second shot. If you can reach this par 5 and 2, it's a very narrow green. The layup, well, it's actually an awkward layup, Rich, because you've got to push that ball to the left side, almost like a zigzag approach.
Given the choice, most players would rather play from the green grass versus the white sand.
Yeah, there was no advantage to try and take that much more out of that fairway bunker. Couldn't reach the green. It's a smart play. Should be safely on deck.
Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
Oh, another one goes in.
Now to the par 4 12th, and it's a pretty short hole, Frank.
Yeah, Pete Dye often doesn't get enough credit for his short par 4s. This is a great example where one of the features of it is the blind second shot, just to give you a little bit of doubt on judging the distance. You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. That one ends up in the rough.
Oh, that went sideways.
Frank, what's the best way to get at the golf ball when it's sitting down just a bit in the rough?
You have to accept the fact, first and foremost, that you're not going to get clean contacts. You have to decide whether the ball's going to come out short or it's going to fly. Because very rarely will it come out the normal distance of what you hit on the fairway. So if it's a little thin and wispy, chances are it might fly. If it's nestled down, you're going to have to take at least another club.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
You like this one, Frank?
Oh, it's a good one. Safely on.
So just a formality here.
That's a good par given the situation.
Still tight, still close. Frank, 17 gets so much attention here at the TPC Sawgrass, but 13, par 3, is exciting in its own right.
It is, and it's actually more difficult than 17. One of the reasons it's longer, and also the green here. 17 obviously has two sections in it, front and top. This has, I don't think there's a flat piece on it. And every now and again we watch a ball roll all over this green and actually find the cup for the odd ace.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Safely aboard. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
Oh. Wow.
No, Rich, that was a huge putt. You don't expect to make them from that distance.
No, you don't. Separated myself there.
Frank, the 14th hole. A lot has happened here over the years.
I think it's the litmus test on the back nine. That's where things really start to heat up. It looks like a straightforward tee shot, but often the eyes wander to that water down the left side. And, of course, if you think about that, you invariably fire the ball towards the right, where those hillocks and thick rough is, and virtually no chance of reaching the par 4 and 2.
This is the second shot at the par 4.
Did it again.
Frank, so many different lies in golf. This is one you don't see too much. The golf ball is on the mulch.
Yeah, and it never really sits up, so this is one of those ones you've got to be much more conservative than you'd like to be. Play for the fat of the green. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
He'll take that one all day long. Very solid, about 15 feet away.
It's no snack, though.
Hard putt, soft hands, beautiful putt.
They do it there.
Now to the 15th, and Frank, I know this is a hole that you really like.
Yeah, it gets no respect in my book, which I think is a shame. Just a nice dogleg to the right. And really two good shots and a 3 here, which is actually a rarity. It sets you up for those closing 3 holes. Too often people just take 15 lightly. And 15 has just a gentle nibble that turns into a bite.
Frank, what's the key on this approach here at the 15th?
Well, knowing exactly where that pin placement is, Rich, there's mounding, there's that little gut out of the right side of the screen. If you miss your mark here, that ball can easily finish 30 or 40 feet away.
Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Just continuing to play some really good golf. 8 under par for the championship. Frank, I think one of the things that fans love about this gauntlet, 16, 17, and 18, each hole has that sort of hold your breath moment. Certainly 17, we know when that ball's in the air, you're holding your breath. Is it wet or dry? 16, same on that second shot. You're holding your breath wondering, where is it? Right in the water or left with a chance for 3?
That's why you don't want to get too sloppy on that tee shot. A lot of people look at 16 because there's a wide fairway and they think just get it down there. But the extra 10 or 15 yards, there's a little ridge down that left side. If you catch that, the ball will kick good 20 yards further forward. 20 yards is 2 clubs. I'd much rather go into 17 with a 4-iron than a 2-iron.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, you think about heartache here at 17 through the years. What comes to mind?
Obviously, Sean O'Hare is the first memory. I remember Len Matisse messing the hole up. Sergio Garcia just a couple of years ago when he was trying to make two. And you're punished so severely at 17 for a miss, but you're rewarded too for bravery. And it's that fine line between being a hero and a fool. And it comes down to 137 yards.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie.
It's that sneaky distance.
There you have it. Well done. Great putt. Frank, who are the best putters you've ever seen, and what did they do that made them so effective?
Well, there was always the Crenshaws that putted beautifully, but the best, when it comes down to it, the Tiger Woodses and the Jack Nicklauses, the ones that made them when they had to.
Now the approach shot here to 18, just one last good swing, Frank.
There's a little false front here that you have to avoid, so something that pitches over that right bunker that lands a good 10 or so yards on this green is certainly the desired goal. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Frank made this hole just a little bit harder hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a master class in short game.
Settles in over the putt. So a tough way to close the round, missing a short putt and a bogey here at 18. Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, it still has the lead.
Can't afford another, though. Rich, in that great opportunity, name on top of the leaderboard. It is only round one.
Good place to be.
Let's do another one.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Players. We're at the TPC Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, for one of the game's most prestigious titles, the Players Championship. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Oh, look out. This could be wet, Frank.
It's heading toward
Nassau, we have a splashdown. Now on to his third shot after the last one went into the water. Frank, this is one you don't practice, but sometimes you have to do it. Time for the drop.
Yeah, it should be the easiest shot in golf. You've just paid for it. Good recovery shot. Couldn't make the green, but at least he's back in play.
Played the smart shot right there. Frank, you want to get out of the gates quickly, hit the proper approach shot here at the first. What does the player need to look out for?
Well, there's two distinct levels to this green. There's that left side and then that collection area to the right side. Flag on the top, it's a very, very difficult shot because that bunker plump comes into play.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable, that never deviated offline.
Locked in on the read and the speed.
Rich, with so few holes left, bogeys are just that much more expensive.
That will really hurt his chances of catching the leader. And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. And from the fairway for his second shot here. And it looks like it's in the rough there, Frank.
It might not be as bad as it looks.
And setting up here in the rough. So on the putting surface and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Par attempt here. That's a solid par. Still in it, Frank. So we started with a par 4, then a par 5, and now the 177-yard par 3 third hole. Plenty of hazards here, Frank.
You really break this green up into three portions. Front left, front right, and that back, just on top of the ridge.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That's well played.
Oh, well.
Good look at birdie. Good birdie right there, Frank.
Oh, time to get another cup of coffee. Things are heating up.
So much focus here, Frank, on 16, 17, and 18. Number 4 is a hole that gets overlooked, but it's a fun one.
Yeah, the second shot here is more daunting, especially when that flag's on the left. So you really do start looking at that blue stuff, water.
They'll be happy with that. In the fairway, now a good chance to attack this hole. Frank, the approach here to the fourth is fraught with peril, isn't it?
Three distinct levels here. There's that sort of small piece in the front right. There's that left side of the green and that top tier on the right.
This is a good-looking shot. That will be a great look at birdie.
Chance for back-to-back. birdies are hard to come by in this situation. It's so tight.
Keeps him right in the thick of it. Frank, the golf course toughens up right here at the long par 4 fifth.
Yeah, when you play it off the back tee, 470 yards, it's nearly 320 yards to that last bunker down the left side. That really has to be in the back of your mind. The ideal tee shot, a little left to right.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Offline, and I think that one's headed for the rough. Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Oh, how did that mess?
Are you kidding me? I mean, that one was dead center.
Another good par.
Hole number 6, 393-yard, par 4. What's in store for us here, Frank?
Another one really where you're just trying to poke it down there. When you stand on that back tee, there's an overhanging limb that you just get an eye of. So if you try and hit that ball a little too low, that's going to encourage a miss hit.
Frank, now the second shot here at hole number 6.
Yeah, not overly long, but be very aware of these palm trees that are short. Many a shot's caught those trees coming into this green.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. Birdie here yesterday. This putt again for birdie. Always nice to be comfortably inside that cut line. The wily golf instructor makes birdie. Frank's 7th hole here at TPC Sawgrass. How do you break this one down?
Not overly long, 440 yards, but once again, it's a tee shot. If you're driving the ball well, that's fine. You just sort of blister it down there, but you're starting to lose one a little bit to the right. There's 3 pot bunkers there, and of course, if you're fearful of it going left, there's the canal all the way down the left side that'll get your attention.
Always makes the hole easier, playing it from the fairway. Now the approach to the 7th. Frank, what do you need to be mindful of here?
It's rather narrow in the front of this green, and then there's some mounds both right and left. Be very aware of those mounds. They can actually help you out.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here. Another good swing, another good approach shot.
So just a formality here. Nice putt, counting. TPC Sawgrass, the fabled stadium course designed by the legendary Pete Dye. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Here at the 8th, Frank, most players are happy walking out of here with a par 3.
And the reason why, it's a very narrow entry to this green. It's just littered with bunkers around, left, behind, to the side, and even short. Once you get further up the green, though, even though this is sort of an undulating green, it starts to widen up. So don't get trapped into just looking at the front of this hole.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold, very bold.
He has this for par. Well, considering the lead that he has on the rest of the field, a par is all you need. Frank, now at the ninth, this really is one of my favorite par fives in the entire sport.
And I certainly enjoy watching people play it today, Rich. It used to be unreachable, but the longer hitters now, we're starting to see them go for this par 5 regularly in 2. And the reason why, they start to hit the drive more down the right now than what they used to. People used to try and go down the left side. The right side, it hugs the water, but you get a better view of the second shot.
Second shot coming up here at the par 5. Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Now the third shot here at the ninth, Frank.
Another very narrow green, not that dissimilar to the first hole. There's a high portion on the left and a low portion on the right.
Good swing, good shot yet again. I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Racking them and stacking them. That's 12 under par now for the tournament. Setting up to start the back 9 here, and if it's anywhere near as good as the front 9, Frank, he'll be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the scores.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Second shot now at the 10th, and again, Frank, accuracy is at a premium.
Yeah, gone are the days to sort of thrash it out of the trees like Phil Mickelson. Ideally, coming out of that fairway, you're hitting to a green that moves to the right, so that makes it a little bit more difficult than what the mind's eye first sees.
What a turn of events. Just turned this round upside down. Started off slow, but then managed to pick up the pace and back on track now. This one's looking good. This hole really sets up well for the player. Birdie yesterday, and a chance for another one today. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Everybody loves him. Birdie on the card. Now the time to be aggressive. Par 5, 558-yard, 11th hole, Frank. What's the key here?
Tee it high and let it fly. This is the big chance here. This is one of the widest fairways on the golf course. This is where you chance it all.
Always so nice, Frank, when that gleaming white golf ball is sitting up on those emerald fairways, the way this one is.
The game almost appears easy when one is playing their second shot from the middle of the fairway, and you quickly forget how difficult it can be. You look left or right, the game becomes much harder.
Tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from that.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. That is another laser right at the flagstick. He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today? Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now to the par 4 12th, and it's a pretty short hole, Frank.
Yeah, Pete Dye often doesn't get enough credit for his short par 4s. This is a great example where one of the features of it is the blind second shot, just to give you a little bit of doubt on judging your distance.
Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. Now the approach to the 12th, Frank. What's the player looking at?
Well, it's a fun shot here for the second shot, especially if you've driven it down the right side, because then you can see the flag no matter where it is on the green.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Solid play, heart of the green. In for par. Hole number 13 here at Sawgrass. Tricky 181-yard par 3.
You don't have to hit directly at this flag. When that flag's at the back there, you can use the contours. When it's on the left, once again, you can use the ridge in the middle of the green. Matter of fact, one of the hardest hole locations is when it's in the front right, because that's when you have to be perfect.
And again, another example in total command of his game. An approach shot within 10 feet. Right in the heart. Now one of the most demanding holes on this golf course, the 14th, 481-yard par 4.
If you ever want a litmus test at TPC Sawgrass on who's playing well, check the tee shots on 14. If you stripe it down here, you know you're driving the ball well. Too often we see people messing with the mounds on the right.
Right in the heart of the fairway, green light special. You want to get to what they call the gauntlet, 16, 17, and 18 with a chance. 16 is the reachable par 5. You can make eagle there. And then the final 2 holes, you just want to steer clear of trouble. Though, with bold play, and you mentioned it with Craig Perks, you could make birdies.
It really is a case of mind over matter when you look at those holes. You're right. If you took away the water, you'd think they're 3 nice holes. But it wouldn't be the same. You intimidate the player as he plays 15. He's well aware of the finishing 3 holes.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. And getting ready for the putt. He's made it. Just before we get to what they call the gauntlet, 16, 17, and 18, 15 requires all of your attention, doesn't it, Frank?
Personally, I think this is the prettiest hole on the golf course, Rich. I've actually often gone back there and taken pictures. Just a gentle dogleg to the right. You come out of the chute. Seems to be a generous fairway. You just get a little view of the bunker down the right side, but virtually there's no lip there, so that's not a concern. The green, all sorts of weird and wonderful waves on it, well protected by a big bunker on the left, and there's 2 little pop bunkers out on the right that, well, if you're first time around, you might notice.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor.
Do that.
Now the start of the gauntlet, 16, 17, and 18. Par 5, 16. Frank, Tiger made birdie here all 4 days in winning in 2013.
Fred Couples made that fantastic eagle many years ago. Hole bends a little to the player's left. You don't have to hit driver here if you're a long hitter, but you really must move that ball right to left.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. And it makes the green in regulation. So a tester from 4 feet. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Well, Frank, as the old British announcers used to say, it's a watery grave. But every year, quite a few golf balls are actually rescued and brought back to life.
Well, if we think of the championship, back in 2007, 93 of the best in the world found the lake. The recreational player, in a year, 100,000 golf balls were dredged out.
That's good business. That was a solid strike and a good result. Trying to make yet another birdie.
great too.
Beautiful. Now to the final hole here at TPC Sawgrass, 462-yard par 4. Frank, is this one of the toughest finishing holes in the sport?
It is, because the simple reason you've played 17 holes and the job isn't done yet.
Final drive of the day, and makes it a good one in the fairway. Now he just needs one final good swing here, the approach shot to the last.
That green's starting to look a little smaller than what it did earlier in the day.
Sit down, get down.
Oh, this is gone. That just came out blazing. As soon as it hit the green, it was never going to stop.
In the greenside bunker, Frank, little bit of a problem.
Rich, I thought he could get this close.
That just is amazing. Just a mind blower right there. Absolutely incredible. He made the shot. So all the scores have been posted for round number 2, and look who is on top of the leaderboard, Frank.
Yeah, with 2 very solid rounds of golf. Key right now, just stay out of your own way and keep it up. The pressure will start to build. We know that as you get closer to the end of this tournament.
Bogey that one hole.